On Friday night, I spent by myself at home while my family slept in their cabin quite a distance away. I'm used to spending time at home alone because this same situation happens frequently in the summer, especially when I'm working and can't get back from the cabin. I'm also used to our house's strange creaks and settling noises, so I'm not generally jumpy or terrified when I'm alone. My sister's dog was with me that night, so I was especially reassured that he was mostly responsible for any noises. If something were to happen, he would serve as a sort of guard dog, alerting me to any strange thing that would to happen at the same time. But he is the kind of dog that will bark at any noise or person, walking past the doors or windows, so I'm used to hearing him growl or bore at night. However, this past Friday, the sound of his barking went till morning, unsettling to say the least. Despite my comfort level with staying at home alone, I'm still afraid of the possibility of a breaker or some other unexpected human interaction at midnight. I allowed him to bark for a moment, convincing myself that it was just someone walking past our glass door in the nearby alleyway, and he would quiet down once they passed. Needless to say, that is not what actually happened. He continued growling and barking for a few too long moments before I eventually got out of bed and went upstairs to investigate, since I had a suspicion that he was watching the glass door. I was initially relieved to see that the door was only slightly opened when I was about to close the curtains and turn in for the night. I became blank. I'm a paranoid person with severe anxiety, especially when it comes to break-ins and things like that. I would never go home alone and forget to close the door. I'm sure of it. But at the time, I didn't let myself think about these facts or even acknowledge that I could not have left the door open because I knew it would send me into a spiral, possibly even an anxiety or panic attack. If I hadn't explained it in this manner, I would have closed and locked the door and used my phone's torch to confirm that it was locked. In an attempt to calm myself, I searched the entire second floor of my three-story home, looking in closets and other likely hiding places. When I couldn't find anything, I went back downstairs to my room. While I was there, trying to ignore my anxiety, I heard Bosco moving around the floor that serves as my bedroom. At first, I thought I was overthinking it, but then I heard what sounded like human footsteps mixed with Bosco's footsteps. He strolls for a few minutes before I plug in my headphones and use self-talk to help me go asleep. Prior to this, I have woken up a few times before him the same night my sister gets home from work. We let Basco out the front door instead of the glass patio door when I got up to allow him out of my bedroom because he was whining in the basement and my sister had just stepped in. In an identical manner, we conversed for a while until I walked back downstairs and my sister went to bathroom. For the next few days, I was preoccupied with work and forgot about the door. I didn't think about it until tonight when my dad and brother stayed at the cabin and my sister and mom came home with me for a movie night. I remembered the door scenario from when we were choosing which horror films to watch, and I was telling it as sort of odd, nearly funny story until my sister intervened, stating that the same night, around an hour after they arrived home, the door, which had been shut from the inside and had not been unlocked since earlier that night, was open once again. My stomach fell. And as soon as this was revealed, I began to shake. At first, we tried to rationalize why someone would break in without stealing anything and then go for 2 hours before leaving. Eventually, I realized that I might have locked someone in the house with me and forced them to hide upstairs while I searched the second level of our home. Perhaps she had let Bosco out and forgotten to close it. If they appeared again, hinting at their presence, then this hypothetical person would be locked up there now, aware that this home was not abandoned and that there was a dog who got here. My sister and I fled through the glass door when I was in the basement, and it happened at the ideal moment because they discovered the door was open again, much wider than when I had discovered it. It seemed like they were rushing out, so maybe they had left it open the first time to make a quick escape or to silence the commotion. The sound of it colliding into the door fray, either way, it ties together too neatly for me to dismiss it rationally. I know it's unlikely, especially since nothing has been missing. But there have been numerous reports of break-ins, trespassing, and simple breaking and entering in this small town, so it's not as unlikely as it might be in a larger city. I'm frightened by this and find it difficult to believe that someone could have entered my home while I was sleeping alone in the basement. However, there are too many coincidences that all fit together to ignore.